Big Meaty Men. Yes, that's what you're going to get this week with Memphis Wrestling. Now, it's last week, well, nearly last week, because they've got a new episode coming up tomorrow, which is Superbout 3, the third of 3. This is Superbout 4-2-4-2-4-2-2-2-4-4-2. And it is Big Meaty Men, because your main event, he said, moving around a bit, your main event will be Big John Dalton, Big Meaty Man, versus K2, Big Meaty Man, versus AJ Francis, Big Meaty Man. And that's why they've called it Big Meaty Men, he said, calming down a little. Now, I'm sorry that Salty Terrence isn't around at the desk, capital T, capital D. But you've got Maria, who's marvellous, and Dustin Stardust Star, and Maria Star. And I do like the Terrence announcements because it adds gravitas to the title belts. And the first one is up here. Does Dustin say this is the final year for the trophy, the Cobra Cup? I thought he did. King Cobra's on commentary, and you do have Tim Bosby versus Marko Harris. Comes from EPW in Mississippi. And gets to the final. Now, will he win it? It's damn good, this. Good speed. Nice sling blade from Marko. And the boss has to bail. But then catches Marko Harris as he leaps out. Massive shot. Boss then is looking to, I think, either suplex him off the stairs. The ring stairs, the steps. And Harris fights it. Nasty high power bomb from Bosby, who's got real attitude here on the apron. Then a gory special. Now, neither Cobra nor Dustin seem to know what that is. Anyway, then Bosby goes for a pile driver on the apron. Nasty, you see. Harris gets his second rope cutter, but it's not over. Bosby rolls back out, and he seems to be knocked out a bit because it takes Harris ages to get him back in the ring. And then he goes to the top. Bosby knocks him off there. Bosby gets the straps down. Enziguri from the apron from Harris. And a Hurricane Rana off the top, as Dustin says to King Cobra. You used to do that, didn't you, Cobra? That's great. Then a Harris ripcord clothesline for a long 2 count. That is Bosby's move, you swine. Bosby then goes, Harris then goes for the cutter again. It's a bit clunky because he kind of jumps onto Bosby's shoulders, who then hits a running F5. That's extraordinary. And the ripcord clothesline for the pin. I didn't expect Harris to win it. I wanted more of this. But that's just because it was great. And Bosby's your new champ for the Cobra Cup, and quite right too. I also wanted more of the women's title match, DDT versus Erica Torres. There's a kind of bow and arrow attempt early on from Erica, so quite get it, and just ends up with an arm bar, really, with the arm pulled back, Leg drop from Diana. Torres bails, and then when Diana comes out to see her, her legs are swept, and she hits the apron. She smacks herself on the apron. Back in the ring, there's a sudden DDT for the pin. I wanted more. I thought Torres was a bit subdued, and I wanted more of Torres, to be honest. But that's because it was a good match, to be honest. I'm being honest, to be honest. The LA Hustlers get a promo, which is nice. I wonder if they'll be on next week. And here is your Hollywood Clique imploding match with the go-away Ray chance to Ray Collins, and he's facing Van Viscius. So, Jimmy Blaylock really plays the fans so well. They dislike him so much. It's marvellous, really. I'm looking at my notes here, and there is a Collins attack early on. There are some Van Viscius shots. Jimmy hooks his leg with the cane to distract him. And then Viscius is put over the top as Collins asks the ref to count. I don't need to ask him. He's going to do it. Then a Viscius high kick, a running high kick. I've never seen him do that before. And a kind of gut wrench belly to back. And then the pin. I wanted more of this as well because it's got real consequence. Now, there's some afters. And of course, all of the security, there's Jimmy and there's Jay Smooth. So you've got a lot of people fighting Van Viscius here. And they hold him. And there's a gut shot from the cane, a gut shot from Jimmy, but I wanted more. And I did like Jimmy standing with all of them with arms aloft and Jimmy with his foot on Van Viscius' torso. That was very nice, but I liked it and I wanted more. And I think these matches are really well done and really well wrought. You know, and I like the way that I like the way this is bubbled up and really given us some mouth-watering matches. So I wanted more, because the main event is here before you know it. It's the Big Meaty Men. And Terence announces this is for AJ Francis' $1 million title. Where's Virgil? Where's Virgil? I know. That gentleman's passed, I know. But remember I've just been watching SummerSlam 1991 when Ted DiBiase lost the belt to Virgil. That was a big moment. And maybe this will be too. There's a kind of crowd cheer check. Who's going to cheer loudest? Then they're both BJD, that's Big John Dalton, and K Tuma, are after AJ Francis. Both get avalanches. Tuma won't allow Dalton to pin, which I like. There should have been quite a lot of that in this. All falling out, that kind of thing. And temporary friendships and all that, like in a rumble, really. There is Francis bailing and sitting in the front row. As Dustin said, you might as well have a concession stand there. It's great just watching and all that. So that allows Big John Dalton and K Tuma to engage in a pushing contest and a fight. There were some Dalton jabs and a K Tuma running neck breaker, which is lovely. Then Dalton gets a power slam on K Tuma, gets the big man up for a long 2 count, double Tuma chop, double-handed chop, and then Francis off the top with a clothesline to the back of each of their necks to wipe them both out. Then there's Dalton jabs to both and a double elbow to the top of the head for both, Dusty style, and the world's strongest slam on AJ Francis. He gets him up, does John Dalton, for a 2.999 recurring. Then he gets ahead of himself, up to the top, misses a swanton. There's a Tuma splash. It does that splash as if he's being fouled. It's great. And Francis has to break it up. Then Francis has got a money bag. And you know that last week or the week before, a couple of weeks ago, K Tuma ruined, it was in the Grind City Rumble, wasn't it? I think. He came out with a load of Cheez-Its, they're cheesy, tangy, enjoyable snacks, and threw them out and to the crowd, and that distracted AJ Francis. So AJ Francis has got a bag with a $sign on it. What's in there? Cheez-Its, of course it is. Now, with thumbtacks and that kind of thing, if you get slammed on them, it's going to hurt, isn't it? With Cheez-Its, you're just going to make those Cheez-Its into powder, aren't you, really? Now, I know someone's going to be slammed on it. It's Big John Dalton. But I don't really understand how that's going to hurt you. He's been slammed on the Cheez-Its. It's a great idea, but it doesn't really work with the logic. And then Francis picks up Tuma. Slams him on Big John Dalton. That will be your pin. Extraordinary. And it's a great episode, which I wanted more of, which just shows you how successful it is. Then again, this is Memphis Wrestling. They are successful. Ta-ta.